Ahoy there, mateys. Today we're going to be reading a book about pirates. I am dressed like a pirate with my trusty friend, my parrot, on my shoulder. So today we're going to learn about pirates and what they are and what they do. Let's read. This is by Catriona, Clarke, and designed by Laura Parker, illustrated by Terry McKenna. This page shows you what the table of contents is, meaning that there are different pages that talks about different things. So let's talk about who were pirates. Pirates were robbers who roamed the seas and stole from other ships. This picture shows a pirate captain. His men are burying treasure. The Golden Age. 300 years ago, thousands of pirates sailed the seas. This is called the Golden Age of piracy. The busy waters of the Caribbean Sea were very popular with pirates. Men became pirates of all kinds of reasons. Some thought the life of a pirate would be full of adventure. Lots of men thought they would be able to steal precious treasure. A few expected an easy life with lots to eat and drink. The Pirate's Code. Every pirate has to agree to a strict set of rules at the start of each voyage. Voyage means when they set off sails, they go out into the ocean and they're gone for a while. That's what a voyage is. Pirates had to keep their weapons clean and ready for action. Every pirate had to fight bravely in the times of battle. The pirates were not allowed to fight each other on board ship. On some ships, lights had to be out by 8 o'clock at night. Pirates settled their arguments by having a duel on land. Pirates who did not obey those codes were punished. One of the worst punishments was called marooning. A pirate would be left without food on a desert island. If he could not find food, he would die. So when they don't listen to the captain, they would set him off and put him on an island where there's nobody else. And he would have to hunt for his food and have to find water, because you can't drink ocean water. You can't drink seawater. You have to find fresh water. A pirate ship. Some pirate ships were huge ships with 3 masts. This one only has 1. Sometimes there's 3. But most were small, fast ships called sloops. This is what a sloop looked like. A ship with this size could carry up to 70 pirates. That's a lot of pirates on one ship. I mean, nowadays you see big, huge ships that can carry even bigger. Pirate captains were sometimes in charge of a group of ships, not just one. The side of the slope has been cut away so that you can see below the deck. So what they have done here is they've cut a piece of what you would see on the outside so that you can see what's on the inside. You've got barrels here where they put some liquids like water and rum, and then they have a place where they would sleep. They'd sleep on hammocks, place to rest. They stock all their ammunition down at the bottom on the next deck, which is the next floor, right? You might have a house that you live on 2, 3 floors. Well, that's the same thing on a ship. But the floors are called a deck. Meet the crew. The captain was leader of the ship. He was chosen by the crew. This is Billy Bones, a captain from the famous story called Treasure Island. So there is a big thick chapter book called Treasure Island. So for you older readers and your more skilled readers, fluent readers, you can go check out that book or purchase it. There's many versions of Treasure Island, and that's a really good storybook about pirates. Sometimes the captain even had to share his cabin. The quartermaster punished any pirates who broke the rules of a pirate code. The helmsman steered the pirate ship using a long wooden tiller. The cook was often the pirate who had been injured and could no longer fight. So, a lot of times older men would be pirates. And again, if they injured themselves in a battle or something happened, then they would be the cooks. But nowadays, that's not the case. I'm going to go flip back, and I'm going to talk about parts of the ship. So like I said, the floors, where like if you lived in a house and you had different floors, that's called the deck. And again, we talked about the mast. You have cannons, 1, 2, 3 on one side. Actually, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this particular ship, and 6 on the other side. Then you have the tiller for steering the sloop, steering the boat. You have the guy with the looks like a wheel. He's got the wheel, and that directs them on which way to go. And over here, you have an anchor, and the front part is called the hull. Life at sea. A pirate's life wasn't as busy as a normal sailor's life. Pirates spent more of their time enjoying themselves. Many pirates spent a lot of time eating and drinking. They enjoyed singing songs called shanties and dancing too. Pirates sometimes ate their biscuits in the dark so they couldn't see the bugs in them. Because sometimes bugs will get in their wheat when they make their bread and things like that. And they just couldn't stomach that, so they just ate in the dark. There were still jobs to do, though. The lookout watched for other ships. So you have different people. Sometimes you had one lookout, but this particular ship had 2 lookouts where people stand on there and they're with their binoculars or their binocular, and they would look all around, like far as you could see, if there were any ships or any land, or sometimes if there were rocks that are sticking up out of the water that the ship can't see, they would let people know. The sail had to be hauled up and down. So if there's really good wind and the ships, you want to put the sails up. You don't necessarily need the sails down. The sails are made out of a fabric, and when the sails are down, that helps push the boat along. Well, if it's really windy, you don't need it. Unless you're in a rush to go somewhere, then yeah, you want your sails down. But if it's really windy, you don't need your sails down. But then if there's hardly any wind and you're just not moving, you want your sails down so that you can catch some type of wind to push you along. The deck had to be scrubbed every day. So that was some pirates' jobs to do every day. Sometimes they would switch it up. Sometimes you might be working on ropes. Sometimes you might be up here on the lookout. Sometimes you had to clean up. So they all had to do different chores. And it all depended on the captain of the ship, on what he wanted you to do, if he wanted to keep you at one spot all the time or not. Now, what to wear? Pirates mostly wore rough plain clothes, but some wore fine clothes that they had stolen. Captains often dressed like rich gentlemen. This picture shows Captain Kidd, a famous pirate. Pirates wore hats and headscarves to protect them from the hot sun. They sometimes hung their pistols on fancy ribbons around their necks. Pirates had short cutlasses, which were good for fighting in tight spaces. They liked to dress in their best clothes when they weren't at sea. So when they were docked, or I should say parked in the water at the docks, they would go out, but they would dress really nice. They didn't want to dress while they're out at sea because you're cleaning, you're doing all that stuff. There's nobody to impress. So when they're out at sea and when they dressed very, very plain and probably in ragged, ripped clothes. But when they were out and about on land, then they would try to dress up really nice. Attack! The ships that pirates captured were called prizes. Most prizes surrendered quickly. When pirates spotted a ship, they raised a flag called the Jolly Roger. They chased the ship, firing their guns until they caught up with it. So they would call the ship when they would want to get everything that is worth anything on another ship. They would call it a Jolly Roger. Pirates aboard the ship and began to search for treasure. The quartermaster asked if any of the crew wanted to join the pirates. So when they attack another ship and that ship doesn't win, they take all the food, all the drinks, all the treasures that they may have had, anything of value that they could use on their ship, they would take it, but then they would also ask the crew, the people who worked on the other ship, if they wanted to work on their ship. Sometimes the ship's crew didn't give in so easily. This old painting shows a fierce battle. Booty. The quartermaster was in charge of the booty taken from a prize. He shared it among the crew. Gold coins like these were popular with pirates. They were easy to share out. Men who were injured in battle got a bigger share of the booty. Gold, silver, and jewels were the most precious kinds of booty. Pirates also took useful things like tools, sails, clothes, and food. They often kept the prize itself and set the crew adrift on a small boat. So if you didn't want to join the crew, they would put you on a small little boat and tell you to go paddle to the closest land that you could find. Land ahoy! Pirates didn't spend all their time at sea. They had to go ashore every few months to clean their ships. This was called careening. Careening. So underneath the water, you end up getting barnacles. You get seaweed all cut up on the wooden part of the ship, and you would have to get it clean, or else your ship won't steer correctly. So every few months, they would have to take it and scrape off all the barnacles and all the seaweed off the bottom. The ship's hull became clogged with weeds and barnacles. This made ships move too slowly in the water. The pirates had to beach the ship and tip it onto its side. They scraped the hull, cleaning, and then coated it with tar. So the tar that you see on the streets, I know especially in the U.S., we have most of our streets are now made of tar, and a lot of countries have that too, is made up of tar. It's a type of oil that's really, really sticky, and it's mixed with rocks sometimes, and it's, for this particular one, they pound the rocks really, really fine. So they would put the tar and put it on the bottom, and that protected it from the moisture. But like I said, they had to keep cleaning it every so often, because barnacles and seaweed and sea kelp would get on top of it, and it would be hard to steer, and that gets heavy too. So that's why it would make it move slower. The rest of the pirates relaxed and enjoyed themselves while the ship was being careened. Pirates were often captured by the Navy while careening their ships. So the Navy, which you would have from different countries, would have ships that would set sail around their area of their land, of their country. Some would set sail really, really far, like, the British, they would set sail really, really far. So would Spain. And the Navy would try to catch all the pirate ships. And the easiest way to catch the pirates were when they were cleaning their ships on land, and they were relaxing, so they weren't on guard all the time. Now, we have some famous pirates throughout history, and excuse me, those of you who are younger, when you get older, you're going to start hearing in schools about other certain pirates that were a long time ago, that were very famous, like Blackbeard. That's probably the most famous pirate, true pirate, a real life pirate a long time ago. You can't say like, Pirates of the Caribbean, all those, majority of those were all fictional pirates. There were a couple of them who were actually pirates throughout all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but not all of them. A lot of them were fictional characters. But there were some actual pirates in real life, a long, long, long time ago. So let's look at some of them. A few pirate captains were very well known. Bartholomew Roberts was the most successful pirate. He captured more than 400 prizes before the Navy caught him. Edward Lowe was one of the cruelest pirate captains of the Golden Age. He tortured the captains of the ships he attacked. The most famous pirate was Blackbeard. Like I said, he's probably the most famous one. His real name was Edward Teach, so he had a nickname, and he called himself Blackbeard. But I'm sure his wife, when they went on land, she would call him Edward. This old painting shows Blackbeard's last battle. Blackbeard stuck lighted matches under his hat, which made him look scary. So under his hat, he would put like some wood, little thin pieces of wood, and light it and let it smoke, and he would kind of like stick it a little bit under his hat, and then the smoke would come out, and that would make other pirates and his crew kind of scared of him for doing that. That's why if you see Blackbeard portrayed in movies, you'll see like there's smoke, looks like coming out of his hair and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why. Now, not only were men that were pirates, not only men are pirates, there were a few women pirates. Pirates did not allow women on board the ship, but women pirates did exist. So on ships, majority of them were all men. They didn't want any women. They thought it was bad luck. They thought, whatever their problems were, they would blame it on the women for being on the ship. Well, Some of the women still wanted to be pirates, so they decided to have their own ship. This old print shows Mary Read and Annie Bonny. They were the most famous women pirates. Marie and Annie dressed as men to disguise themselves. They both joined the crew of the captain called Calico Jack. So if women wanted to get on the ship and they couldn't have their own ships, they would pretend they were men. So they would dress up like the men and maybe make some fake mustaches or, give them some fake beards sometimes. Make themselves look like a man so that they could get up on the ship because they just like to pirate. They fought as fierce as the men in lots of battles. Marie and Anne were captured in 1720 with the rest of the crew. So like I said, a long time ago. So right now, we are in the 2020s, right? So over 300 years, almost 300 years ago, that's when Marie and Annie were captured with the rest of their crew. Mary died in prison, but no one knows what happened to Annie. End of an era. Era means a segment in time. There were so many pirate attacks that the British Navy had to take action. Big warships hunted down the pirates and captured them. The pirates were put on trial. Lots of people came to watch the trials. If the pirates were found guilty at the trial, they were hanged. Dead pirates were put in special cages like this one, so that everyone could see that being a pirate was a bad idea. Each cage was especially made to fit each pirate. The Golden Age ended when lots of pirates were captured and killed. Beneath the waves, people have been searching for the wrecks of pirate ships since the Golden Age of piracy. The Whydah Galley sank in a terrible storm off the coast of Massachusetts in the U.S. in 1717. In 1984, treasure hunters used a machine to detect the metal in the ship's cannons. Divers found pieces of the ship and thousands of other treasures in the sand. This pistol is one of the many treasures found in the wreck by the Whydah Galley. These bullets here were found inside the barrel of the pistol. So they would put whatever they could find of metal, and they would try to make it round, and they would stick it inside the barrels to use as bullets. Treasure hunters believe that there are still lots of pirate treasure that hasn't been discovered yet. So back to especially Edward Teach. He buried a lot of treasure, and they have yet to this day find where he buried all his treasure. Now, the back of the book, like I've talked before, gives you a glossary of pirate words. So if you didn't know what a duel was when you're reading the page, while you're reading that page and it mentioned duel, you go to the back of the book and it would tell you what the word means. And there are, most of the time glossaries are alphabetical. However, this particular glossary goes by the page. So they talked about a duel first, and then they talked about a sloop. So if you didn't know what those were, then you would go to the glossary, which is in the back of the book. And this, like I said, this particular one goes by each page that you found a word to make it easier for you because you're a younger reader. But normally, as you get older, glossaries are alphabetical. Now, they've given you on the back page some websites that you can check out. More information about, the pirate. They've given you, you can find more about the Wada galley ship. You can match a pirate captain. You can do the matching game. Look at different weapons that the pirates used. Play a pirate pistol game. So there's lots of things that you can do. And once you purchase this book, you can look at the back and find the website. And then they've given you some indexes on the back, which tells you, I know, like, example, when I went to school, if I wanted to find my name, I would go to the index in the back. And every time they mentioned my name or my picture, they would tell you what page it's on. So, example here, you wanted to find information about women pirates. Well, I would look alphabetically and find women pirates and see that they're on page 24 through page 25. Okay? And then they've given you some acknowledgments, which means the acknowledgments are, well, how did this person come across the information about pirates? Well, they have to do research. They have to look at other books. They have to look online. They may have talked with somebody who specializes in piracy, about the history of the piracy. So that's what the back of the book is on the acknowledgments. This is an 8R book. It is a 4.3 and it's worth 0.5 points, which means it's 4th grade, 3rd grade month. So if you're in this reading range that you can read a 4.3, for those of you who do take AR tests, which are auxiliary reader tests, read this 3 times and have somebody ask you questions before reading this book. Before taking the test. But you must read it at least 3 times, okay? Because you want to make sure you get all your points as much as possible. That way, your reading level will increase. And that's what you want. You don't want to stay behind. You want to keep your reading fluency and knowledge, your comprehension, to keep going up, okay? So I hope you liked this video. I will be doing more pirate videos. Again, this is called Pirates, and this was learning about pirates. Other books I'm going to be reading will involve stories about pirates or kids who think they are pirates. All right? If you like this video, please click like, and if you don't mind, please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not done so. Now, if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, if you check in the links below, I do have where I have the YouTube channel's page on Facebook. There you can ask me questions. And there are some other websites in which you can purchase items or have me hand make items that can relate to a book that you want to give to a certain someone. So, you all have a good evening and see you in the next video. Bye.